Welcome, Sadkhas. We are visiting Vedic Chased Universe. Its format is the format of organization of Vedic knowledge. Today, we are visiting the source scripture, Sakala Rigved Samhita. It is the source scripture. It is organized as 10 mandals. Simultaneously, it is also organized as 8 ashtaks. Value 10 is parallel with the 10 components of creative boundary of transcendental domain. Formulation mandal is of TC value 29, parallel with TCV value of formulation Brahma. Therefore, this organization of Sakala Rigved Samhita as such is the organization of 10 Brahmas, thus Brahma. Scriptures preserve that Lord Brahma meditates within a cavity of his own heart, and with the grace of the Transcendental Lord, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas. Geometrically, sthapatya-wise, it means that 4 space as domain transits and transforms into the role of 4 space as boundary of 10 components of 5 space. Sakala Rigved Samhita is simultaneously organized as 8 ashtaks. Ashtak formulation is of TC value 13. Within creator's space, within 4 space, 12-edged cube acquires additional edge, 13th edge, and the idol of Lord Brahma and hypercube 4 are of parallel features. 4 space is of a spatial order, and this organization takes us from 4-directional frame to 8-directional frame. It is Chatushpit. Therefore, to be parallel with Sakala Rigved Samhita, we have to be parallel with the Vedic Chased Universe, our solar universe, as of creative dimensional order and of spatial dimension of dimension state. Therefore, one shall sit comfortably and be parallel with these features of Brahma transiting and transforming as 10 Brahmas, and idol of Brahma as hypercube 4, because of spatial order transits and transforms into a Chatushpit. Chatushpit as formulation is of TC value 30, and 30 as dimension takes us to 33 Ishan Kon as origin. Ishan Kon as origin takes to Chatushpit as the dimensional order. These are the features which are simultaneously at work, and as such, sadhkas are parallel with organization of Vedic knowledge as of the format of Vedic Chased Universe, in fact, are entering the domain of organization knowledge of the source scripture, Sakala Rigved Samhita. For it, let us have a parallel revisit of the Chatushpit format for the first 4 perfect numbers. 6 is the first perfect number, 28 is the second perfect number, 496 is third perfect number, and 8128 is the fourth perfect number. First perfect number 6 is having 3 proper factors, divisors, 1, 2, 3. Second perfect number 28 is having 5 proper divisors, 1, 2, 4, 7, 14. Third perfect number 496 is having 9 proper divisors, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 31, 62, 124, and 248. And the fourth perfect number, 8128, is having 13 proper divisors, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 127, 254, 508, 1016, 2032, and 4064. Let us see the total number of proper divisors of all the 4 perfect numbers are 3 plus 5 plus 9 plus 13 equal to 30. It is parallel with the TC value of a Chatushpit. It is parallel with the summation value of 4 folds of hypercube 8. And the summation value of the biggest proper prime divisors, 3, 7, 31, 127 of the 4 perfect numbers is of summation value 168, which is parallel with the total primes up till 1000. And further, 168 is of the organization 8 multiplied by 21, which is the value of the dimensional frame of 8 space. As such, the Chatushpit format for 4 perfect numbers as such is taking us to 8 space Asht Prakriti, and it is being of the feature of 168, which is parallel with the total primes up till 1000. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with these features, and once we will be parallel with these features, we shall be blissfully parallel with the organization of the Vedic knowledge. It is of the format of the universe being chased by Vedas. It is the solar universe. It is the universe of creative dimensional order. 4 space as dimension is the feature. The modern mathematics, the modern sciences, the modern approach to knowledge and Vedic comprehension is taking to as that there is a 4th geometric dimension as well. Modern mind is yet not at this level of comprehension, and that is why the Vedic mathematics has a lead. Modern mind, to be parallel with the Vedic mind, have to permit the transcending mind to comprehend the reality of existence phenomenon of creative dimensional order. All the 4 dimensions are geometric, and these are of spatial order. Once we will be parallel with this, once we will be comprehending this, then and only then we can say that we are on proper initiation for to be parallel with the Vedic systems. In this background, now let us revisit the Chatushpit. Let us revisit hypercube 4. Let us be parallel with the spatial order of a 4 space. Hypercube 4 is 4 space body. Here 2 space is playing the role of dimension. 3 spaces boundary, 4 spaces domain, and 5 space as origin. Within 4 space, 12-edged cube acquires an additional edge, the 13th edge. And the solid boundary of 8 components accepts fixation in terms of 8 cross 4 is equal to 32 coordinates. In Vedic language, we are having 32 external devas and 13 internal devas. This is the reach, and this manifests as the Chatushpit, which is the format of 4 perfect numbers. The third perfect number, 496, is having 13 proper divisors, and the biggest prime proper divisor is 31. So 32 is the external upper limit, and 13 is the internal upper limit. This pair of values, 32 and 13, on the one hand are parallel with 13 proper divisors of 496, the third perfect number, and 32 as the upper limit of the proper divisors. Sadkhas shall sit comfortably and be parallel with it, that the third perfect number as its internal organization of 13 proper divisors of 496 and 32 as the upper limit of the proper divisors. Once we will be parallel with these features of third perfect number, then we can have proper initiation for having a reach from third perfect number to the fourth perfect number. For it, let us proceed ahead and let us revisit the organization of the third perfect number. Garuda, transcendental carrier of Lord Vishnu. Garuda as formulation is of the composition of triple syllables, Ga, Ru, Ra. And these are of TC values 496. And we know that square as a synthetic setup of quadruple quarter squares is a setup of 9664 structural components. However, we know that the first 3 quarter squares are sufficient for fixation of the entire surface of the square. And it is this which will help us appreciate as to if there is a manifestation along a square of quadruple quarter squares, then only 3 quarters will fully manifest and fix the entire base of quadruple quarter squares. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. Surface format and manifestation of triple quarter squares thereupon is the feature which is the organization feature of the Vedic knowledge. Sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity efforts to be parallel with the Vedic systems shall sit comfortably and to permit the mind as that along the surface square as a synthetic setup of quadruple quarter squares, only 3 quarters of them are sufficient to fix the entire surface. So 3/4 manifestation and 1/4 remaining unmanifest is the attainment, and it is this attainment which is the attainment of the Vedic knowledge systems. Once we are parallel with it, then let us see as to how the Vedic knowledge is being organized. Let us visit Dhatu Gana, the roots groups. The formulation Dhatu Gana is the formulation of quadruple syllables of values 9748. Dhatu as of TC value is 16 and Gana as of TC value 12. Now a square as a synthetic setup of quadruple quarter squares will give us the value 16, and 3/4 manifestation upon the 4/4 surface format will add 12 for the manifestation of the format of triple quarter squares, making it 28. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with it. 7 is the biggest prime proper divisor of second perfect number 28. And it is this format which is being availed by the Vedic systems, particularly the grammar, the Vyakaran, and the Dhatu Gana is being chased along this format. The Dhatu Gana are 10 in number. Let us have a textbook, Dhatu Gana. This is thus Dhatu Gana. There are 10 roots groups. And on the computer screen is tabulation of these 10 roots groups. Column 1 is serial number of these groups. Column 2 is mentioning the first root of the group. Column 3 gives the TC value of this formulation. Column 4 is the summation value. Column 5 gives the number of roots of the group. And column 6 is the total number of roots. It would be blissful to take note that the 10 roots groups with their first roots as of total transcendental code value 147, which is of the organization 7 into 21. So Dhatu Gana are taking us to the dimensional frame of 7 space. Step ahead, the total roots are 1967. The value 1967 is 23 less than 2000, and 23 is the TC value of Anant, Shahishtra. And this value as 23 space will be of 47 versions. The value 47 is the difference value of the letters of 16 Ganita Sutras 283 and letters of Ganita Upsutras 236. The value 47 is also the value of the shlokas of the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Let us see that value 1967 is the value of the number of steps, number of flights, coverage of the transcendental carrier. Now we know 1 multiplied by 2 by 4, 8, 16, 12, 32,768. This together with 1967 is 34,735, and it is parallel with the total unmanifest letters of Sakala Rigved Samhita. The manifest letters are 3,97,265, making it total 4,32,000. And the value 4,32,000 is of organization 4 into 1,108 multiplied by 1,000. It is 4,000 multiplied by 108. And 4,000 is the value of 1967 for the first surface, 1967 for the second face of the surface, together with the gap value 47, and 108 times. So 108 is the unit, and this is parallel with the formulation Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It is the Dhruv mantra. It is by this spiritual formulation that Dhruv had acquired the transcendental seat of pole star. So a reach from 6 space Surya Saurmandal to 7 space Dhruv pole star is the attainment. Sadkhas are fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with Vedic systems shall see as to how the Vedic mathematics basis base of the organization of Vedic knowledge is of a reach from our solar universe, 6 spaces of the sun, to its origin, pole star, 7 space as an origin of 6 space. And students of Vedic mathematics are well aware as that the Ganita Sutra 1, the source sutra, as Eka Adhikain Purvain, for the formulation Eka Adhikain, for its first 4 steps, is of quadruple values 6, 4, 2, 7. 6, 4, 2 is the triple values parallel with the formulation Rishi, seer, and the vision is to be parallel with the origin, 7 space as an origin. Sadkhas fulfilled with the intensity of urge shall sit comfortably and have imbibing of the sum up. We may sum up as that sadhakas are fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be parallel with Vedic systems shall sit comfortably and to permit the transcending mind to glimpse and imbibe organization format features. The text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras are 519 letters of organization 496 plus 23. The total TC values of the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras is 1096 plus 934, which is 2030. It is 2014 plus 16. And the total dhatus, including 47 of the Kanva group, are 2014, while dimensional frame of 4 space is of value 16. Further, value 496 is of transcendental carrier of Lord Vishnu, overlord of 6 space, and the Anant infinite transcendental path of coverage of transcendental carrier is of unmanifest letters, 34,735, which is 32,768 plus 1967 of the Sakala Rigved Samhita, with 1,967 being the number of dhatus. Thank you very much.